So basically, this is a new hope for a new generation.
Who are you? I'm no one.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and this is my review for Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. This is a new film for a new generation of Star Wars fans. I completely acknowledge that. And so the plot of this movie is a lot like A New Hope. The First Order has taken the place of the Empire. The Resistance has taken the place of the Rebellion. They are at odds with one another. We are introduced to new characters. Poe, Finn, and Rey, all with different quests ahead of them. Rey is Force sensitive. She will be leading down the path of the Jedi. Poe is the Resistance pilot who is absolutely amazing. And Finn is a former stormtrooper turned rebel. This is a fun movie. I like this movie, okay? Let me just get that out there right now, because I'm going to talk about the problems with this movie because of the fan service and the fact that this movie feels so much like A New Hope. But I want you to remember, I do really enjoy this film. This was the only way, and the most appropriate way for Disney to bring Star Wars back into the fold for not only the die-hard Star Wars fans, but also a new generation of Star Wars fans. I'm gonna just be upfront and honest with you guys, I do really like this movie. But let's talk about the things to me that I don't like necessarily as much. Now, like I said, there's a lot of fan service. J.J. Abrams does a really good job of visual storytelling. He does a great job of crafting a scene and making it look visually amazing. There are so many scenes that are just so satisfying that it really fills up your plate and you just feel like you're stuffed, but he always comes back with a little bit more and you continue to feel a little bit more satisfied each and every time. But there are a lot of fan service moments that I don't necessarily appreciate as much as those moments that are truly unique and new. One of those fan service moments is this whole idea that Han Solo and Chewbacca have been away from the Millennium Falcon and have been away from the Resistance. Now, we do know because of the fact Leia and Han Solo's son, Ben, has turned to the dark side, has now become Kylo Ren. There was a way that they drifted apart where they both kind of did what they were best at. And the only thing that they knew to help them kind of ease the pain. But I don't really buy into this because of where we know Han Solo to be from the original trilogy. 4, 5, 6, and 4, he was really that scoundrel, the guy who really didn't have a certain team that he unified himself with. And then when you got into episode 5 and episode 6, he really found his crew, the people that he truly loved, his family. And to just kind of say that he kind of went off on his own with Chewie, they've been apart from the Millennium Falcon for so long, I just couldn't really buy into it. They do try to pull that emotional heartstring that you have, which it does work the first time you watch it, but the more I watch this movie, I keep thinking to myself, I can't really see a reality in which this is actually the case, where he decides to leave his family instead of growing even more closer to Leia and growing more closer to the cause of the Resistance to try to get back his son. Because you could tell that there's that love, that fondness for Ben, and he really wants Ben to come back. It doesn't matter what Ben has done, but that he knows that there is light inside of Ben. Another fan servicey moment that I just don't really appreciate as much, and it deals with Rey. I understand you want to make a formidable opponent to Kylo Ren, but this is not the way to do it. Rey is way too powerful. Now, I'm not going to say she's a Mary Sue, and I don't want this to seem like I hate women or something, because people are going to skew it however they want. It does not work for me. It doesn't work the fact that she is so powerful and that she's able to manipulate the Force in the way that she does, in such a powerful, gifted way that takes years and years of training as an apprentice under the watchful eye of a master, and she can just literally beat Kylo Ren in lightsaber combat. I get Kylo Ren was wounded. I get that. I know people have said that, but still, his technique, his form is not even nearly as good as Rey's, and it feels like Rey can sense more of the Force and use more of the Force and project more of the Force than Kylo, which doesn't make any sense to me. It is fan service after all. They are trying to find someone who is a lot like Luke, someone that people can get behind, and I do like Rey as a character overall. I think that it's very interesting. I love the intrigue behind her. I love that there's mystery there. And I love the fact that we don't really know her past, which really makes her that much more interesting as a character. But I don't like the fact that we have to have her be so powerful. If they would have brought that down a little bit more to a real level, I could honestly get behind this character even more, and it wouldn't come off to me as kind of fan service craftiness that they just try to do to kind of appease the audience. And there's a lot of shots like that. I mean, whether you're talking about shots that are literally ripped off from A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, I mean, there are so many shots that feel like they've already been used in a Star Wars film before. And, you know, JJ does a good job of trying to bring a new audience in. I get it, it's the only way that you can do this story, and it's the only way that you can kind of bring back Star Wars. But there's a different way. You don't necessarily always need to go to the fan service aspect of it, which I really felt like this movie relies heavily on fan service. You get BB-8 a lot like the R2-D2 that we know from the prequel films. They just have such a way of doing the same equation that worked for the original trilogy. You get three main characters, all with three different backgrounds, all with three different paths in front of them, and you try to kind of recreate what you had with the original trilogy. And to me, it doesn't necessarily work as well because these characters, yes, some of them are interesting. I really like, again, I like Rey a lot. I do like what they do with Finn in this movie, but it's just not as interesting as the dynamic trio of Luke, Leia, and Han. Another big issue that I have with this movie is how everything kind of just feels like coincidence. Things just kind of fall into the characters' laps. The fact that all of a sudden they know how to completely destroy Starkiller Base. I get it. Finn worked there, but he was a janitor. He wasn't like someone who was patrolling the halls of this battle station. And it's not like he was someone who was really noticeable within the reins of the First Order Stormtrooper class. He was essentially a nobody. And the fact that it just feels so much like coincidence and so much like, here you go, let's move this forward. Let's give you the solution to the problem. Like that, I don't like that. I don't like that in any of my films, not just Star Wars, but I don't necessarily like what they do with Leia in this movie. I wish that there was more of her in this movie. And also Luke. I love that we get that last moment with Luke, but I really, really wish that when the lightsaber starts moving in that big lightsaber battle sequence between Kylo, Rey, and Finn, I wish that that was Luke that grabbed the lightsaber. That would have been a much better moment, a much more emotional moment, and it would have gotten me excited more than it being Rey, because it's cool that it's Rey, but it's not a surprise per se. So I wish that they did more with Leia and Luke, but yes, this is Han's movie. He dies in this film, which is really, really sad, unfortunately. And what's also sad is that I knew that because when I served a mission in El Salvador for 2 years, a missionary told me that when I was still on my mission, and it really pissed me off. Things I really like about this film: I really like the aesthetic. I like the look. I like that everything feels like Star Wars. I like that Kylo, he consistently gets pulled from both the light and the dark side. People say that he's a baby. I don't really see that. I see someone that's conflicted with both sides, and he wants to be something that he knows he can never truly be, and that is like Darth Vader, his grandfather, who is really that example for him that he knows he can't reach because of his confliction with both sides pulling him back and forth. Kylo is my favorite character in this new trilogy of films. I really like him a lot. I think he is a very good villain. I love Adam Driver. I think he does such a great job playing this character. I think J.J. Abrams did a really good job with what he needed to do. I do have issues with this film, but honestly, guys, it is a fun movie that is just very entertaining. What do you guys think of this movie? Let me know down below in the comment section. Make sure you guys drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel for more content just like this. Join me next time, tomorrow, before I go see the movie. I will have a review up for The Last Jedi. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video. May the Force be with you.